Okay, I've got a word problem written up here, and it's not the most beautiful handwriting you've ever seen, I'm sure, but uh, I'll read it out loud to help with deciphering what's written here. A person standing on a tall building throws a baseball up in the air. The quadratic function s of t equals negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 160 models the height of the ball above the ground, measured in feet, t seconds after it was thrown. So first question, after how many seconds does the ball reach its maximum height? And then what is the maximum height? So the thing to notice here, we want to focus on the function that models the height of the ball at t seconds right here. Notice that this function it's a quadratic function because it's degree 2 here. Highest power of t is t squared. And it has a negative coefficient in front of that t squared. So this is a parabola that opens downward. And that makes sense for the path of a ball. So if it starts, you throw the ball starting at the top of a tall building, throw the baseball up in the air, eventually it's going to turn and come back down. So it makes sense that the path of the baseball, or I should say the height of the baseball, is given by a quadratic function whose graph is a parabola, opening downward. Makes sense for the height of a baseball when you throw it upward. Okay, so when does it reach its maximum height? Well, so if we think about this, the maximum height will occur at the vertex. Max height at, this should be at the vertex. So part A is asking after how many seconds. So we want the time that it reaches the maximum height. So notice time is the input variable here. We want to find the value of t. If we want to find the value of the input variable associated with the vertex, we use that negative b over 2a formula, where in this case b is 64 over 2 times a is negative 16. And so we get negative 64 divided by negative 32, which gives us positive 2. So it reaches the maximum height at t seconds. That would be the answer to part A. Now part B, what is the maximum height? Well, the maximum height will be whatever the height is at 2 seconds. We just figured out that you reach this vertex when t equals 2. So in order to find that maximum height, we can just take this value for t and plug it into our height function. So the answer to part B is just to take that function that gives the height and plug in the negative b over 2a value, in this case 2 seconds. So this will be negative 16 times 2 squared plus 64 times 2 plus 160. So this will be negative 16 times 4 plus 64 times 2 is 128 plus 160. So this is negative 64. Negative 16 times 4. Negative 64. If we add that to 128, we're going to get positive 64 plus 160 will give us what? 224. 224 feet. So there is the maximum height.